Hi everybody, it's me Willow and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have another great video for all of you guys. We are going to be reviewing Netflix's Wednesday season 2. It finally has dropped on Netflix just this past Wednesday. Perfect day to drop, and I want to give a spoiler review, give all my opinions, let you guys know what I think, and I love to start a discussion down in the comments. So if you guys have not seen the new season of Wednesday, I suggest you guys save this video to your watch laters, go check out the 4 new episodes, and then come back so we can have a full discussion with all spoilers. Also, if you guys like all this type of content, make sure you guys go check out my TikTok, my Letterboxd, and also my awards expert account. I'm active on all 3 of these fairly often, so make sure you go check that out. They're all Willow D. Steele, and then awards expert is Lost in Film. I have all of that down in the description below. So let's get into the review. The first episode is called Here We Woe. I love that. I'm very excited to get back into the gothic of this season. Personally, I would say the season is a little bit less scary than I thought season 1 was. I find the tone of season 2 so far is very different from season 1. Now, it has been 2.5 years, and we are doing a completely different drop for this season. For season 1, all of the episodes were dropped on the Thanksgiving American weekend to binge, and this year we have 4 episodes of season 2 being dropped on August 6th, and then a month later, on September 4th, I believe, they're going to drop the last 4 episodes of the season. So tonally, it feels very different. I also find watching the first 4 episodes, you don't really yearn for the next part. I definitely want to finish it, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen, specifically with Tyler's character, the Hyde. He's always been my favorite. I've been the most entranced by his character since season 1. But the rest of the season, I feel that it's pretty singular. They wrap everything up pretty well in the first half. They have like maybe just like one thing that's leading us into the second half of season 2, but again, feels very singular. We got most of our questions answered, so I'd be intrigued to see what we're going to do with season or the second half of season 2. I really did like the last episode because I felt like it was the most horror based and scary. We were in Willow Grove, I think that's what it was called, the mental health hospital that Tyler is stationed at, and then Uncle Fester also goes. And we also see Christina Ricci's character from season 1 come back, and she's being placed in the hospital. So I thought it was interesting to introduce this type of location. Kind of reminds me of Arkham Asylum in the Batman comics. I've always been a big fan of Arkham storylines, specifically with Joker and Scarecrow and Penguin, stuff like that. I really liked it on the TV show Gotham. So I like seeing this location as well, but I feel like they wrapped it up so quickly. That's my problem, is just like this tone. No, the tone and the pace for this season, I feel like is just so off, and I'm not like the biggest fan of how fast we wrapped everything up. I would have preferred if we like maybe prolonged who Wednesday's stalker is, because at the very beginning of the season, we see that Wednesday has this stalker. In about episode 3, I think it was, or maybe it was the beginning of episode 4, it's revealed who it is. Heather Mazzarato, as a guest star, plays the main stalker who has been stalking Wednesday and trying to harm her and her friends. And I thought it was great to see her as a guest starring role because I've been a big fan of her from Princess Diaries days. So I love seeing her in this season. But again, I just felt like her character wasn't that big, and it was like a twist because we all thought it was going to be the head doctor of the hospital, who's played by Tandy Newton, and then they really switched it up in the last couple episodes, and then it's revealed that it's Heather Mazzarato, who's a much smaller character, doesn't have as much to do. So I didn't love that change up. They also kill Tandy Newton with the zombie slurp that was created by Pugsley. So again, didn't love that. They do a similar thing with Christina Ricci's character. They bring her back, have her interact with Tyler, interact with his hide, which is what I wanted. That was what I was hoping they would do more in this season. I think that's my problem, is that I was quite a big fan of the Tyler Wednesday storyline in the first season. Now, I know a lot of people didn't enjoy that, and I know Jenna Ortega didn't like it herself as well. And I could have cared less about the other guy. Who cares about him? Glad that he's off the show, written off. He makes me uncomfortable. So I would have dived more into Tyler and the fact that both Wednesday and Tyler have this kind of inner desire for the dark, for the gothic, for the bloody. They kind of have this killer instinct in both of them, and I wish they played more into that. I loved the one scene that we got with Wednesday and Tyler at the hospital. I thought it was really interesting to see their dynamic, but I wish they played more into it, played more into maybe like a toxic love story. I love seeing what they have done with Gomez and Morticia. I really love the relationship between Catherine Zeta-Jones and Louis Guzman. I think they are perfect with Morticia and Gomez. And I know that in the shows and the other adaptations, they are classically more lovey-dovey. And I think it would be interesting to see like a juxtaposition with Wednesday. And that's why I really liked the first season, because it was something different, but it still played into the darkness that I wanted from Wednesday. So now that Tyler, who was her love interest in season one, is also this like dark killer being similar to Wednesday. She's not a killer, but she has that deep, like torturous, wants to feel people's pain. I think they would have worked so well together. I think it would have been really interesting if they tried to make her his master, kind of tried to have equal playing balance, and then have Tyler come back to Nevermore. I've read many fan fictions about it, and I'm disappointed that the writers of season 2 of Wednesday did not check Archive of Our Own and see all the incredible material that is up there and what storyline they could have gone with, because just I don't know. I think it just kind of feels a little bit too small this season. I really liked the mystery that they went with in the first season. And I feel like, again, they tried to wrap a lot of this up for the first half, releasing the 4 episodes for season 2. And then they're going to kind of get more into like the Raven and the underground testing facility that was on normies and turn them into outcasts. I think we'll focus more on that, and maybe we'll focus more on Steve Buscemi's headmaster's manipulative plan with Bianca and her persuasive siren songs. He's obviously trying to make outcast pride a big thing, and he wants all these donors to come and invest in Nevermore so they don't get closed down. But it seems like he has more nefarious plans, and he's really trying to use Bianca to his will. So I feel like maybe they'll try and use Steve Buscemi more in the later half of the season, as well as this mysterious testing facility that Heather Marazzo's character, who is the stalker, is involved in. So it feels like they're doing a lot of setup in the first half. Maybe we'll get a little bit more payoff in. I'm just a little frustrated because I feel like there's lots of good pieces of season one, and I really loved season one, and I feel like there's a lot of interesting points that they have made so far in the first 4 episodes. I think the humor is great too. I really did love Fred Erningston's cameo as Uncle Fester in the first couple episodes. I think a lot of Wednesday's one liners are killer. I thought this one, it was like, it's going to take more than chemical warfare to bring tears to my eyes. I thought that was a great one liner. She mentioned something about, I wish I had lupus. I thought that was really good. And I think her quippy one liners are perfect. And I really love Jenna Ortega in the role. I think she's really started to perfect her Wednesday mannerisms. And I think her ability to learn the cello is so impressive. I love her scene that she has in the first episode, I'm pretty sure, with the cello. It is so well done, really, really impressive. Love seeing Wednesday with this, but I just feel like it feels very more cartoony. I think there's a little bit of darkness in the first episode with Haley Joel Osment's serial killer cameo that we have. And then in the last episode, when we get to see more of like the Hyde transform and the zombie kind of going at it, those are a little gory, but I would have preferred like a full gothic show. And I think with the popularity of more fans, like younger kids and families, they're trying to make it a little bit more age appropriate. Obviously, the Adams family has always been age appropriate, but I just wish they would go a little bit more deeper. That's always just my criticism these days. I feel like everything's just kind of surface level when they could really, really go in deep. They have all these talented actors, and I would really love to see more happen. Even with Steve Buscemi's character, I feel like not much happens with him. With Tandy Newton, not much happens with her, and then they kill her off. With Christina Ricci's character, she gets a couple fantastic moments because Christina Ricci is so fabulous, and then they kill her off. Like, what do you mean? She also says that they can't kill her off because she is Tyler's Hyde's master, and without a master, he will slowly fall into madness and basically ruin himself. So we in the sneak peek that kind of seems looks like what's happening with Tyler's character. And again, like I said, I feel like there's so much potential with the Hyde character, with Tyler, maybe trying to humanize him a little bit more, but still having that anti-hero, like still having a dark side. I think he could be such a great character. Just worried that they're going to just kill him off in the second half of the season. And Billy Piper's character, haven't even mentioned her because she's basically not even worth mentioning. I love Billy Piper from Doctor Who. I thought she was great in the Birdie movie with the actress from The Last of Us. I'm blanking, Bella Ramsey. I think she was great in that as well, kind of a small role. But I was really, really hoping that Billy Piper would have a much more dramatic part. I thought she was the headmistress. I didn't realize it was Steve Buscemi. But all of these new characters, I feel like, have not been giving as much as they could have been. So I'm just disappointed that it's not as, I don't know, I just find it's not hooking me as much as season one hooked me. I feel like I was watching every single episode back to back when they all came out, like 2.5 years ago when it came out. So now I have to wait a month, and honestly, it's just kind of annoying. It's going to come out right at TIFF. I'm not going to have time to watch the second half right away. I will probably have to watch it when I come back from TIFF. So that's kind of frustrating me because it'll be even longer until I get a chance to watch it. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Were you a fan of the first 4 episodes of season 2 so far? I did enjoy it. I thought they were really fun. I thought the humor was great. I love Jenna Ortega, Catherine Zeta-Jones. I love that they've incorporated Morticia and Gomez and Pugsley more. I think Pugsley's actor Isaac is a big standout. He's done lots of great stuff in the first 4 episodes of season 2. Big fan of incorporating the Addams family more, but with that, I feel like they're making it a bit more cartoony, a bit more like the Addams Family TV show, and I'd rather lean a little bit more into the gothic, into the horror, into the darkness that is Wednesday. So I'll be interested to see what happens. I loved having Tim Burton direct. I think it was 2 out of the 4 episodes. I think it was the first and the third episode he directed. I also loved seeing his stop motion animation scene in the first episode as well, when telling the tale of the skull tree, I believe that's what it was called, with the guy who made himself like the claw cart. Really love to see that stop motion animation come back from seeing it in the Corpse Bride and also the Nightmare Before Christmas. So it was great to see that once again. Also, there's a Tim Burton, Edgar Allan Poe, I think it's The Crow, I think that's what it is. Really love that short. So it really reminded me of that scene. There's also one gothic story is Edgar Allan Poe. That's who I thought it was. It is The Telltale Heart. It kind of reminded me of that little gothic story with the skull tree and the clock heart being made, and then he was Slurp, he was the zombie. So I thought that was interesting, leaning into that gothic element. So I just wish that would be a little bit more prominent. Hopefully, in the second half of season 2, we see more of the horror and the darkness comes out. I think season 1 was more heavy on the gothic stuff in the second half, anyway. So we'll see. No Lady Gaga cameo, so I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought she would be a little bit more throughout the season, but I guess she'll probably just have one little cameo in the second half. I guess they're saving her. So a little sad about that, but I'll have to tune in the second half to make sure I get the Lady Gaga cameo and to see the Lady Gaga song because I don't think it came out. Maybe it did. I'll have to double check if it did came out. But again, let me know what your guys' thoughts of season 2 of Wednesday, the first 4 episodes, in the comments below. I'd love to hear all your guys' thoughts and opinions about the first 4 episodes. Which one was your favorite? The last one was definitely my favorite because I loved how much of Tyler and the Hyde and Christina Ricci was involved. I really hope that maybe Christina Ricci's character isn't dead and she'll come back. I don't know. She must be busy with Yellow Jackets, but I feel like she could do 2 shows at the same time. So I'll be interested to see what season 2, the second half, has in store for us on September 3rd or 4th. Can't remember exactly which day. I think it's the 4th actually is coming out. But give this a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you like all things pop culture, like movies, TV, music, theater, and fashion, give me a subscribe because I post here every couple times a week. I'm trying to get my channel off the ground. So all the interaction, all of your engagement and interaction really does help to boost my channel. If you're more interested in daily content, go check out my TikTok because I post there multiple times a day with all different pop culture content. Check out my Letterboxd because I always log on there. Check me out on Awards Expert because the awards season is starting to get going and I'm on there more frequently as well. So check out all of my social media and I will see you in my next video. Bye.